Hi guys, hi, how's it going? How you doing today? Hopefully today finds you well. Today I am doing kind of a throwback tag video in which, if I'm honest with you, I can't even remember who came up with the first one, but I will put all the information down in my description box. I know that the last time I did this was in 2021. And I thought it was interesting to look back at the videos that I've done in the past and maybe come to you with a more revised version. So it's been a long time since I did this. It was March of 2021, which at this point is now just over 2 years ago. So I thought it would behoove me to do another one. So we are doing If I Could Only Choose One from every single category. What would it be? And I hope that you're here for it. For those of you new here, hi, my name is Donna. I'm a lover of all things high-end, colorful beauty and self-care. I also work in the beauty industry as a field leader for Ulta Beauty. I get a lot of education in my position. I like to bring you that education here on my channel. But ultimately, I'm just out here talking about makeup because I like to talk about makeup. And I'm assuming if you're here, you probably also like to talk about makeup or listen to somebody talking about makeup. So I invite you to stick around. I invite you to subscribe, hit that button so that you're notified every single time I upload a video, because I do upload 3 times a week and I would love to welcome you into my YouTube fam. With that said, no further ado to happen. Let's move into this video of If I Could Only Choose One from every single makeup category. What would it be? If you've been around for a while, I do think that there are some things on here that might shock you, but I also think that there are some things in this that won't shock you at all. And here's the great news. I have what I picked in 2021 written down also, so that we can compare and contrast. I think that that's always a great idea. The first category is primer. And in 2021, I said Hourglass Veil. And while I still love that primer and think that it is an amazing primer, I have it. I don't want to be without it. I would say that my favorite primer these days, I think that it's been a favorite primer of mine since right after I did this video last. I think JD bought this for me for Christmas in 2020. Maybe it was Christmas 2021. Probably Christmas 2021, but you can see it's gone, and I will purchase another one. I will have this back in my collection. This is the Bobbi Brown Vitamin Enriched Face Base. This is such a wonderful primer. I feel like it does help my makeup with longevity, but also it is such a wonderful moisturizer for my dry, parched skin. And I feel like my skin looks so much more healthy when I am using this product and not just any old primer. I do feel like it helps my makeup last longer, but I also feel like it really does its due diligence as maybe a quasi skincare product in my routine. I have actually went out on the road and forgot my moisturizer and used this on my elbows and my hands and my feet. So there's that. Not that that is what you should be using this for, because it is damn expensive. But with that said, a little tiny bit of it does it for you. Like literally a pea-size amount would cover my entire face and my neck and my décolleté. This one is super thick and I can use it as a moisturizer during the day because it just kind of melts in the skin. But if I use a little bit more of it, I feel like it also I could use it as a night cream at night. The Hourglass Veil Primer still sits at the top of my list, like probably top 5 primers. I do think that this one was the one that I was like, I can't live without this primer. I don't want to live without this primer. The next category is foundation, and then I have skin tint right after that, so I'm going to go over both of them. The foundation that I picked was this one. This is the Natasha Denona Foundation X Plus. Look, I love this foundation, but I am pretty certain that it's being discontinued or something because I can't find it anywhere anymore at all, which sucks because I really do love this. I am in the shade 40N. It is a light medium neutral beige rose is what it's called. I love this foundation. It is a medium to full coverage foundation that just kind of goes onto the skin and moves with your skin. It's super breathable with your skin. It's just beautiful. I love this foundation so much. The pump pumps out just right, the right amount of product that you need. Like, I just think that it is a beautiful foundation, and really think that for full coverage, it is so, so breathable. I also feel like even though it's full coverage, it looks like real skin, and I think that I can sheer it out enough that I can see like my skin through it, and it feels really comfortable on, regardless of whether you're going really super full with it or shearing it out a bit. My foundation last time I did this was the Pure 4-in-1. Holy moly, that is like a mask. Like, who am I picking Pure 4-in-1? Like, I know that that was a favorite foundation for me for a long time, but I am not that kind of coverage kind of girl. So I'm just, every time I look at it on, one of my videos as a favorite, I'm like, who was I back then? This is really beautiful. It is full coverage, but I do think that it feels like a lightweight, light coverage foundation, but it is super full coverage. The skin tint that I have on here, I think some people will be surprised by this because Fenty is one that I talk about all the time, but at the end of the day, when I think about the one that I take with me on trips, the one that I know my skin is going to feel comfortable in, the one that I know is going to always look good, it's this one. This is the Dior Backstage Face and Body Foundation. I have the shade 3N. I do think that I need probably a lighter shade of this, because this one currently I am having to mix with lightning drops, but I love this so much. It feels and looks like skin. My face moves with it. It doesn't sink into like anything. It doesn't really blur anything also, to be completely honest, but it doesn't transfer. Like, I find that this is just the perfect skin tint for me, in that I feel like it's my skin but better, just slightly, right? And it doesn't transfer anywhere. So love, love, love this skin tint. Never want to be without it. The next one is corrector. So the corrector that I had on the list last time was the Becca under eye corrector, and while I still have that in my collection, it's the Smashbox version of it though, and I love it. The one that I picked was this MAC Medium Studio Fix Conceal and Correct palette. And the reason why I picked this is because I can take this anywhere and do anything with it. Like, it can double as an under eye corrector and a foundation and a concealer. I love this little tiny palette. It's got a lot of dang use in it. Like, I have used the poop out of it. It's got some really great healthy dips in these two shades specifically. I love this palette. I also think I put it into my video of things I don't want to live without. Like, when it comes down to it, if I repurchase another corrector, it's going to be this one. I think I could get rid of every other corrector in my library of correctors and just have this one and be perfectly fine. It's got the yellow one and the peach, right? Which is the two colors that people most often use to cover up like dark circles or redness or, anything like that. The only thing it doesn't have that I wish it did have was green, because green helps, really take away any kind of like redness, but I don't have a whole lot of redness in my face either. What I really need are these two colors for dark circles, and those exist in this palette. So I really, really love this thing. I don't want to ever be without it. The next category was setting spray, and in 2021 I said Urban Decay All Nighter, which I still think is fantastic, but one that I have found myself really pulling for more often than not when I go into a store and think about having to purchase a setting spray is this one. Now, this is just a mini. I do have a full size over there as well, but this is the Benefit Professional Pore Spray, the Super Setter Pore Spray. The reason why I chose this one over the Urban Decay All Nighter is because I have really dry skin. Anybody who's not new here knows that. I talk about it often. This doesn't have alcohol in it, and the Urban Decay All Nighter does. So this is just really a really nice product for my skin. The sprayer on it is fantastic. It feels kind of like a mister that you put up in your like canopy or something like that. And it doesn't dry out my skin more, which I feel like the Urban Decay All Nighter does. The Urban Decay All Nighter does set your makeup down. It's like cement on your face, right? This sets your makeup down also. It's not cement on your face, but I do feel like my makeup lasts just as long with this product over the top of it as it does with the All Nighter setting spray. And if I could only keep one powder, last time I did this, it was the Bare Minerals Mineral Veil. I still have that powder and like that powder, but one that I fell in love with last year, it came to me in my lucky bag of 2022. So I've had this in my collection for about a year now. I just used it for the first time probably 4 months ago. It's the By Terry Hyaluronic Hydra Powder. I love this powder. Like, it is such a nice powder. This one is colorless, so it's translucent. Even though it looks super white, it doesn't leave a white cast, and it is just beautiful. It just goes on to your skin so beautifully. It doesn't get cakey. It's super finely milled and blurs just everything. Like, I am shocked by how much I love this powder, because if you're not new here, you know I'm not a powder girl. I love this powder. I only have I have a lot more than a girl who doesn't like powder needs in her collection, but I only have like 7 powders now in my collection. That one is the one that I consistently want to pull for. So I have to put one into my Shop My Stash every single time I rotate, so that I'm not like beating a dead horse with that powder. It's such a beautiful powder. I don't have much from By Terry. As a matter of fact, I think that's the only product that I have. They're more luxury. They're more in the luxury end, right? I'm super high into luxury, but powder is just not something I get into ever. I really do like that one. The next one is blush, and last time I did this, I had the Patrick Ta blush duos on there with the cream and the powder blush. I still have those, still love those, but this last year, I found myself really falling in love with the MAC Glow Play blushes. Really, really decent, like everyday kind of shade. This one is in the shade Blush Please. A really pretty mauve. And then this one is one of those like in your face kind of blushes. This one is in the shade Heat Index. These are kind of like a putty in that they kind of like indent when you put your fingers into them. You guys can see the like indent there from me using them. But what I found to be true about these that I have not found to be true about every single like putty type blush or even liquid or cream blush that I've used is the staying power on these is phenomenal. Like, I was shocked by these. I do feel like I can put them on with the brush. I can put them on with my finger. I can put them on with a sponge, and any way I put them on, like, they're just going to sink into the skin, look beautiful on the skin, and last all day long. There's something about my dry skin that eats away blush. Like today I put on a blush. You can see it a little bit, but not a lot of it. I feel like you would be able to see these ones a lot better than you might see any of their powder counterparts. So really fell in love with these blushes. Trying to stay on top of the lighting changes because it's cloudy out there and it's doing whatever it wants to do. Yes, I have a light on, but it's to keep it consistent in here. But then it still gets a little blown out sometimes. So I'm trying to stay on top of it. The next category was bronzer, and in my last one I did the Marc Jacobs Omega Tan bronzer, which is super big, and I still have it, but like I think that you'll maybe notice a little bit of a thing here. Like, I've gotten into cream products a whole lot over the last year, and my favorite bronzer this time, the one that I would pick if I could only choose one, would be very sad for me because I went back and forth between 3 different bronzers, like the NARS new cream bronzers that they have, the Chanel bronzer I love so much, the Charlotte Tilbury Sun Kiss bronze I love so much. Like, there's so many bronzers that I love so much that I would choose from, but when it came down to it, it was a bronzer that I could use for contour or for bronze, that I could sheer it out, I could make it deep, and I felt like it would work with any skin tone that I have, right? So if I'm super tan or super fair, I do feel like it would work for any of those, and that is NARS. So this is the NARS Laguna 3. Look, this looks very scary in the pot, but this shears out so well. And truth be told, I think that this one blends by far the best out of all of them. Like, I think that they all blend really, really well. But I also feel like this one carries a little bit more of a cooler tone to it than the other ones, and I prefer a cooler tone to my bronzers. I feel like this one is the cooler of the tones of the bronzers that I mentioned not that long ago. Like, I think all of them are fantastic, to be honest, but if I could only choose one, this one would be the one that I chose. And I didn't go into like what cream bronzer would I pick, what powder bronzer would I pick. I didn't do that with blushes, highlights, any of them. So that would be the one that I would pick. It's beautiful on the skin and blends out beautifully. The next category I had was contour. And last time I did this, the contour I picked was the Too Faced Soleil bronzer because I was using that an awful lot as a contour back then. But these days, again, cream products have been my jam lately. I picked the Fenty Matchstick in Amber. This is like cool as cool gets. This is the coolest tone that I have ever seen or come across or owned in a contour, and definitely the contour that I would pick. Now, I had the Makeup by Mario Sculpt Stick. I love that as well, but I go back to this one all the time. So I just think it's like the perfect tone for my skin, and I love it so much. The next one was highlight. And this one is one of the only ones that really stayed the same. When it came to highlight in 2021, the one that I picked was the Fenty Kilowatt Highlighting Duo in Lightning Dust and Fire Crystal. And this year it is the same, Lightning Dust and Fire Crystal. This is the only highlight that I have in my collection that has a pan in it. This is a highlight that I have to force myself to put aside so that I don't continue to use it. I love this highlight so dang much. This is obviously my favorite side. This is the side that is kind of on my face today. It is beautiful. I tapped it on top of the other highlighter I used because I wasn't getting as much out of my highlighter as I wanted. But this is one of those highlights that I hesitate to use because I don't want it to go away. And I know that if I put my mind to it, I can empty this. It is on my plan to pan for 2023, and that scares the life out of me. I haven't put it in my project pan yet because that scares the life out of me. I don't want to be without this, but if I had to pick one highlight, this would definitely be the highlight, because not only does it have that, you know, my favorite like See Me From the Moon shade, but it also has a really subtle shade. And I've worn it as a highlight. I've worn it as an eyeshadow. I've worn it inner corner, brow bone, all the things. It works just that much for me. So I would definitely pick that. And that is the same as it was in 2021. For face palettes, the one that I picked in 2021 was the Balm. I don't even like the Balm. Like, I must have just received that face palette and put it in this video because I was so enamored by it in that moment. But man, that was one, that was a face palette that I hardly ever used. And every time I did use it, I was pissed off at how my face looked because it never blended really great for me. Like, I've never liked anything by the Balm. So I was a little bit shocked that I put that in here as my favorite face palette, or my, if I could only choose one face palette. I think I did that then for the same reason that I'm kind of picking this one now, is because it had a bronzer, a highlight, and it had blushes in it as well. This one also has a bronzer, a highlight, and blushes, but this one is truly really, really good. And it is the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Powder palette that came, Lighting Edit unlocked the elephant version. So they did 3 different versions this year. I ended up with the elephant version just because, I mean, truly it's about the packaging for this one. I love the elephant, but also these colors work really, really well on my skin tone. It's got blushes, it's got highlights, it's got bronzers. So if I'm going to choose a face palette, it needs to have a little bit of everything in it, right? So that I have variety if I'm only choosing one product. So I love these powders. They're so, so pretty. And one of the only like powders I've ever emptied in my collection was an Hourglass blush in Mood Exposure and an Hourglass powder in Diffuse light? I think diffuse light. I love these powders. They're so good. And even though these are small, you know, a lot smaller than the full size versions that you're going to get in these palettes, these are going to last you forever. Those two products that I have emptied by Hourglass were minis. They were $25, but they were minis, and they lasted me for probably 2.5 years. And I had them in a project pan for the last like year that they were in my collection. These are just beautiful, beautiful powders, and I love the fact that there's quite a bit of a variety in this face palette for you to choose from. The next category is brows, and for brows, last time I did this, the product I chose was the Benefit 24-Hour Brow Setter, and this year it's also the Benefit 24-Hour Brow Setter. Look, this will always be my favorite brow product. I don't know of any brow product on the market that could ever compete with this, if I'm honest. The brush is perfection. It's flat and it has big spikes on one side, little spikes on the other. It's perfect for getting your tail, but also getting, you know, the hairs to stand up. Your hair doesn't feel crunchy. It's a perfect brow product. And I can't really say much more about it because I've talked about it too much on my channel. So I'm just going to move on. You know, honestly, when my brows are tinted, I don't use anything but that product. So it makes sense to have that product be the one product. The next category is the other, or the last, I believe the last item in this list of products that is the same from 2021 to today, and that is lip liners. My favorite lip liner today is the same as it was, you know, in 2021, and that is ColourPop Beeper. Now, I got my very first Charlotte Tilbury lip liner in Iconic Nude this last year, and I loved it, and I used it. I used it up. I got rid of it or emptied it in a project pan, right? But I did, before I emptied up that lip liner, I also went on the hunt for a dupe in my collection, and this is a dupe of it in my collection. And here's the true tea. Like, I love ColourPop lippy pencils. There's not much from ColourPop that I stand behind 100%, but I stand behind these 100%. I really don't love that the lead kind of comes out of the pencil. That is frustrating, right? But as long as you keep it inside the, like, the lead, the wood, the plastic, the whatever this component is, as long as you keep it inside that, it doesn't dry out. They're so creamy, so beautiful, so nice, and so long lasting. So this was my favorite in 2021, and this is my favorite in 2023. I think that it is a wonderful shade lip liner, perfect for my lips. So there's that. Lipstick. Last time it was KVD Lolita, which I still have and I still love, and it still smells fine, and I've still used it. But this time it is the Charlotte Tilbury Very Victoria. Look, I think that this is just probably the perfect shade of nude for me. I tried Pillow Talk, and I hated Pillow Talk because it was just too pink. This is the perfect shade of nudie pink without it being too pink. I do think that it's got an awful lot of brown in it. It looks good on my skin tone, and I love this shade of lipstick. And I would have never bought this if it weren't for somebody that did a video that was talking about olive complexion, how when people don't love Pillow Talk, when they try Very Victoria, they find that that works well because Very Victoria leans a little bit different in undertone, and it's specifically made for olive tones. So I purchased it, and I love it. It is so, so pretty on my skin. The next one is Liquid Lip, and the first time I did this, I chose Jeffree Star's Delicious, which I loved. That liquid lipstick, it was like grayish, lavenderish purple. It was so pretty. This year, it would be the Urban Decay Lip Balms. Look, these are amazing. You shake them, put them on your lips. You got to keep your lips open for like 30 seconds, which feels like it could be forever when you're in the moment, but it's really not that long. And then they stay all day. They go nowhere. They bleed nowhere. They go nowhere. They stay all day. I have ate with these on. I have wiped my own lips with, you know, a wet washcloth. I have tried to get these things off. They just don't go anywhere. What I don't love about them is they are kind of sticky, but not like any more sticky than, say, like a lip gloss or something. Well, okay, they are a little bit more sticky than a lip gloss, but I don't love that they're sticky. But I do love the longevity of these and ultimately how comfortable they are. They really feel very, very comfortable. I would love to try the drugstore version of these. I can't remember what they're called, but I've heard that those are better. So you might find me doing that in a video, but they're also, I'm doing, you know, a beauty rehab series. Like, I have a beauty bank, and they're not something that I want to purchase and spend my money on when I've already purchased these, and they're the same thing. The next category is lip gloss, and for lip gloss I have the Makeup by Mario lip glow. What are these called? I cannot remember what these are called, but I have Mauve Glow. I frankly love these. I feel like they do so much to make your lips just look plump and healthy, and they also are plumping, so they've got kind of that little warming kick to them that kind of freaks you out if you don't know about it at first. But these are so nice. I want to pick up a couple other ones of them, but I haven't yet because, again, I'm on a low buy, and lip gloss is one of those things that I have a one in, one out kind of mindset on, and I don't have one to one out, you know, to purchase one right now. So I won't be purchasing one anytime soon, but mine's in the shade Mauve Glow, and I mean, I love it. It's so pretty. It reminds me a lot of this shade right here of lipstick, only in a lip gloss version. Very pigmented, very nice, and they stick around for quite some time, honestly. And then I have lip balm, and last time I did this, I had the Fresh lip balm, which I still have and I love, but this year it has to be Laneige. Listen, I have the like gummy bear like purple tube in my purse, and I have this one here. Like, I can't live without Laneige lip glosses and or lip balms, and the reason why is because I suffer from really chapped lips most of the time. My daughter suffers from really chapped lips most of the time. It really just is a lip lifesaver, to be honest. I am not addicted to it by any means, and I've heard a lot of people are like, well, if you slather it on your lips every night, that's why you feel like your lips can't be without it. But I don't use it every night. I use it when my lips are really in pain. From how chapped they are, and my daughter uses it for her lips as well. So love this stuff. It comes in multiple different scents. The next one is eye primer and shadow sticks. So I have the ABH eye primer. If you know, you know. This was a find of mine last year, and it was one that I couldn't live without, and I went through like 3 minis and finally bought one myself. I love this. It's got a nice white base. It's liquid, but it kind of feels like a powder once you get it on. It's very dry liquid. Because it's got a white base, it blanks out. It turns everything on your eyelid space into a blank canvas. It's just a really, really great eyeshadow primer, and it doesn't bother my eyes in the way that like a primer potion does. So really love this eye primer. Last time I did this, my eye primer of choice was the KVD stick, the color correcting eyeshadow stick. I hate that thing now. Shadow stick, I had to pick the NYX Milk Jumbo Eye Stick because I have repurchased this probably 3 times. And the biggest reason why is because it's white. It's so good. You can use it as a highlighter. You can use it as an inner corner, as a brow bone highlight, as a shade that goes all over your lids to blank out, to make a blank canvas, to use as a primer. You could use it as it's just such a great pencil that I don't want to be without it. Like I said, I think I've repurchased it like 3 or 4 times. The last time we did this, this was also the Choice Shadow Stick. I then have liquid liner and regular liner. So if you know, you know, my regular liner is always going to be, until they no longer make them, the LA Girl eyeliners. These ones are specifically the Shockwave Neon eyeliners. Like, they're so pigmented, so creamy. They go on so super well. Today I have like a blue eyeliner on my inner rim, and it's not one of these. And when I was putting it on, I was like, this is why, this is why. And these are only $5, I believe. So why not choose these to purchase over something more expensive, which that other one was something more expensive. They have all kinds of colors. I think I have 13 of these liners, and all 13 of them are a different color. One is black. The rest are multiple colors. They're just so good. They go on so well. It's not hard to put them on. It's not hard to take them off. You can smudge them out, but once they're locked in, they're locked. Like, they go nowhere. The regular liner of choice last time we did this was Smashbox Always On Gel eyeliners, which are still very good and still some of my favorites. But why spend, you know, 20 something dollars on a liner when you can get really amazing liners for $6, $5, whatever it is. For liquid liner, my most recent love and something new to me this year, I got it in my Beautylish Lucky Bag, I think in 2022, but I didn't open this up until recently, like literally maybe 4 months ago. And yes, it's been 4 months, but I haven't I haven't gotten rid of it, but I haven't gotten rid of it because it still works. It is the eyeliner that I have in my eye look today. I just feel like it goes on so smooth. It is so wonderful, and it doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't bleed into fine lines and wrinkles. It doesn't go anywhere, and it's like got a nice like matte-esque tone to it while still being a little bit glossy, so that you can like see it, the light catches it just so, but not super glossy. It goes nowhere. I think I told a story not that long ago where I had a facial done in one of the stores that I was visiting, because we don't have skincare experts in my market right now. And so I had a facial done, and she asked me if I wanted my eyeshadow taken off. It was the last place I was going for the day, and I'm like, yeah, sure. So she took the eyeshadow off, and then she took 2, you know, cotton rounds and filled it with eye makeup remover and put them on my face and just kind of laid them there for a minute and then tried to wipe it away. My eyeliner went nowhere. My eyeliner was still there and looked perfection at the end of my facial, because she didn't want to rub and scrub at my eyes. And not that you have to rub and scrub at your eyes, you just have to, like, I take a balm, Clinique take the day off balm, and rub it on my eyes and rub and rub and rub, and it comes right off for me with that and a makeup eraser. But for her, it wasn't coming off. This is amazing. This is what the KVD tattoo liner used to be, as far as, you know, the girl that gets in an accident and takes a picture of herself because she was crying but her eyeliner went nowhere. I can see this being that new, like, this is the eyeliner for that slogan these days for me. So love this liquid eyeliner, and I've already got one in my cart at Hindash, because I know that eventually at some point this is going to not work as well as it does now, and I'm going to need another one, and that's the only one I want. Last time we did this, the liquid liner of choice was the Cosmetics Superhero. I love that liquid eyeliner. I really did. But I think that when they changed the shape of it, I no longer loved it, because the whole reason why I love that liquid eyeliner is because of the way it sat in my hand. It helped me grasp it in a way that was super easy for me to practice and do a liquid eyeliner. It really helped me learn how to do liquid eyeliner. Next one is mascara, and the mascara last time we did this of choice was Thrive Cosmetics, which is a tubing mascara, which I still love and would purchase 100,000 times if it were more easily accessed, which it's not. These days, my favorite mascara has got to be the Bad Gal Bang. So I have one brand new backup that came out of my backup bin in a box, because I'm not going to open it just to open it. But I do have the blue one I just put into my empties because it is goopy and gross now. But it's been open in my collection for probably 8-9 months at this point. But this is what the wand looks like, even for the black ones. It's really thin, like Christmas tree shaped wand. It does a lot to give you a lot of length and length to your lashes, which is what I feel I need. I've got a lot of volume, really, but I feel like the length really needs to be there, and that this mascara really helps with the length. But I also feel like this has a really great volumizing aspect to it too. And I think a lot of that comes from the shape of the wand. So I love it so much. I buy these blue ones and the black ones. Really great mascara from Benefit. It is one that I've probably got 5 in backup for because I keep getting it in gratis because my Ram knows I love it. The next section is glitter. And for glitter, last time it was the MAC Spellbinder glitters in the like tub, which I still have and I still love. But these days, the only time I love a glitter is when it is this kind of glitter. This is the Heavy Metals eyeliner, and it's a glitter eyeliner, but I use it for all kinds of things because it's glitter. I put a little bit right there for you so you could see it a little bit better. It's a glitter that stays exactly where I put it and goes nowhere. Like, it doesn't get all over my face at the end of the day or throughout the day. It doesn't get into my eyes. It's not what I'm afraid of. I love this glitter. I have 4 different glitter Urban Decay Heavy Metal liners besides this one. They stay in place. You can get them in different colors. They're just really good. They're just really good. I do think that they're getting really old in my collection. I'm going to have to replace them at some point, but not today. I also have liquid shadow and then eyeshadow palette and then concealer. So for concealer, and I don't know why concealer is clear at the bottom of this list. It should have been at the top. But concealer, in 2021, I picked the Juvia's Place concealer, which this year I just got rid of. It just went bad, or I just noticed it went bad, I guess. But it is a really good concealer. But the one that I picked this time is the LYS Triple Fix Brightening Serum Concealer, full coverage brightening concealer, because it is just so beautiful. I'm not a concealer person, but I would repurchase this concealer. It's such a beautiful concealer. It goes on, it does have a crazy great amount of coverage, but also doesn't sink into fine lines and wrinkles. I don't notice it creasing. And it's just got such a really great color range for a concealer. In my humble opinion, it's really good. So if you also do not like concealer but want to try a great concealer, that is one that I think is great. And the liquid shadow that I had on the last time I did this was the Cover FX liquid shadows, which I still have and love. They're currently in my Shop My Stash, but this year I would have to go with the Danessa Myricks Twin Flames. These are beautiful. Also, they don't crease. With that said, I feel like if you catch them really quick, that you can like buff them out and make them look like, you know, one and done eyeshadow looks that look fantastic. But they are so emollient, so good, and then they dry down to just beauties. Like, look at how gorgeous those are. They're just so pretty. And they go on so nicely. They're, you know, not so thick that they exacerbate a texture in your eyes, and they're liquid and go on easily. But once you've got them where you want them, just leave them alone, let them dry down, and they stay forever. Like, their wear time is fantastic. So really great, beautiful liquid shadows. And then if I had to pick one palette, and one palette only to have in my collection, I would cry. But last time we did this, I picked the ABH Norvina Volume 3, and I think I did that because the sheer volume of shadows that are in it. This year, it would be the Natasha Retro. This palette is just beautiful, and it's right up my color story. As far as the colors that I really love to wear on my eyes. The pinks, the burgundies, the purples. It's got a little bit of deep in it and a little bit of light in it. And I just feel like it is a one and done eyeshadow palette for me, in my humble opinion. This would be the one that I would want to take with me wherever I went. Just an overall fantastic palette. So I would definitely pick this one if I could only choose one. So now that we're done with that, that was forever long, at least on my end. Hopefully I'm able to cater it down for you guys, but that is it. That is all I have for you. So if I could only choose one in each makeup category, those are the products that I would choose. How do you guys feel about that? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments section, but also let me know if you could only choose one. What would you choose? I'd sure be interested to hear. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. You loved it so much that you're definitely hitting that subscribe button, definitely hitting that thumbs up, definitely asking for notifications all the time, right? It's free and it's amazing here. It's amazing here on my channel. So there's that. You know you want to be a part of it. I also hope that April is treating you all kindly, that you and yours are well, that you're healthy, that you're safe, that you're staying, sane, and that you are all loving each other, but loving each other from afar. And until next time, bye, friends.